Okay, so welcome to our community call. Well, today Federico is not available. He's traveling, coming back to his home after last week's events in London. I think maybe you can tell us a bit about the Mechanism Design Conference, William.
Yeah. On Thursday, we had a one-day conference with various academic researchers and practitioners focusing on mechanism design and decentralized justice. So I had a sort of intro talk where I talked about like my experience with the research problems we have as practitioners in this space. And then we had a series of panels on different topics. I was on a few of them. So for example, there was a panel on social choice theory. So this question around like, what's the best voting system to aggregate non-binary option data that is provided by jurors into a collective outcome. We had another panel on AI and its role in decentralized justice, various topics. There was a panel on sort of these like SBT blockchain identity tools and how they can be integrated into decentralized justice mechanisms, and what eventually like how that changes the design space for sort of the other questions considered in the other panels. Good conference on the whole, had a lot of good discussions. I think like probably good, available to be shared on video soon. But on the whole, I feel we achieved the goal of sort of bringing together researchers and practitioners to have fruitful conversation.
Okay, so I think we are good now. Sorry for the issue. I don't know why it stopped recording. So as I was saying, before the conference, there was a workshop also at King's College about for legal tech founders and for helping them use the frontier technologies like AI and blockchain to solve disputes and create on the legal tech area. And as I was saying, there's still lots of opportunities in this area to build with Kleros as Kleros integrated in some part of the business. And it's also something that Federico has been doing for some time now. I think in earlier this year, he made a bit of a tour in Central America, giving a similar workshop. And I hope we have some recording of that because I think it might be useful for our followers and people building with Kleros. Okay, Fortunato, would you like to tell us a bit about how the updates to the Kleros Scout incentive program are going, or what are the biggest changes?
Sure. Thank you, Jean. The main change that will start from tomorrow, actually there are two main changes that will start from tomorrow in the new Scout incentive program. The first one is that we brought back two rewardable chains. So now addresses can be rewarded also on Arbitrum one and on Optimism. For those who don't know, this Scout incentive program is a set of rewards for users who correctly tag contract metadata. That can be contract domain names or address tags or tokens. And we reward a specific set of chains, and starting from the next month, we will also reward, actually it's a comeback, we will reward again addresses on Arbitrum and Optimism. Furthermore, we, as you know, these contract metadata, we don't just keep for ourselves, but we also share with some partners such as MetaMask and Etherscan, and especially these in partnership with Etherscan, we are now expanding the amount of information that we gather about tokens. If you go on the Etherscan page and you look for a specific token, you will see that amongst the information you can get on the token, like the contract or the name of the token, you also have the website. You are pointed to the relevant to the website that it's relevant to the specific project. And from the upcoming weeks, they will also take this data from our registries. So yeah, we don't just add information that are relevant to us, but we are open to our partners for if they need any specific field. So if any of our partners listening to us, if you want information about a specific contract, a specific type of contract metadata, and you need specific fields, specific information to add to your front end, we are always open to expand the type of information we gather. Other than this, as we anticipated last week, we are keeping moving forward with a new version of Curate that it will embed. It will have permanent deposits. So we have still some ongoing discussions about the mechanism, the incentives, also with William, and especially about the first use case of this new version of Curate that will be for vaults. For them, we had one here some weeks ago. So yeah, these I would say are the main updates related to curation.
Nice. It's pretty interesting that that this request for adding the website came from Etherscan, because it really means that they care about the information that we are giving to them, and that they are actively looking to improve it and, well, basically integrate more data in their interface. And
yeah, actually, on Etherscan, the information that comes from Curate are highlighted, like the tokens or the address tags that take information from our registry have a special, let's say, badge or banner underlying that this information were verified through Kleros Curate. So considering that they wanted tokens to have a website field to be mandatory. So yeah, we added this field yesterday, actually.
Yeah, and it's nice that the most popular block explorers from the most popular chains, they are all based on Etherscan. So this update does not affect only Ethereum mainnets, but also like all the main block explorers of the other networks, right? Arbiscan, Optimism, Etherscan. I don't know exactly the name, the Agnosiscan, and all of that. So it's pretty big. And at some point, I think we had this data internally. I don't know what's the status now, but we were probably one of the biggest data providers for Etherscan in general. So that's also interesting, or at least community curated, for community curated data, right? And
yes, exactly.
As Federico says, this sometimes is not like very appreciated, but it's well, it's a use case that affects basically all users on their everyday lives on Web3, right? Because when you check information on Etherscan, you want it to be accurate, and you have Kleros data there. Great. So
yeah, and we are quite fast also, with updates, with latest trends. So this is quite an advantage for partners, because like there is a new token or a new address, and they usually are immediately tagged on our registries, especially if they are popular. And also we can be quite flexible in terms of updates also on our side, as we mentioned, with the field updates or updating the policies.
Great.
So yeah, being up to date is quite important in, I would say, in all of the fields, but in our fields particularly.
Yeah, it's nice for them since right now you have so many tokens being launched, and the industry, the things go so fast, and instead of having their team checking each token, they can just use another tool that does that automatically, and it's still, and even for projects themselves that want to get listed, they don't need to like contact a representative or anything like that. They can just make their own submission. At some point, there was some people that were offering this service, which I think it's also interesting. They were offering projects the service to submit their item. I think it's not very hard to make your own submission, but if someone can help you, that's also like a viable model, I think. And another interesting thing is that if you get listed on these lists, you also get like one more verification on Zerion, because Zerion uses, or Zerion, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a wallet and also a dashboard for looking the content of your wallet. They verify tokens after they have, I think, 3 verifications on 3 different lists, and Kleros is one of these. The Kleros tokens lists is one of these lists. So it also helps projects to get visibility that way. Okay, I had another question for you. Regarding the rewards for people that challenge submissions and the policy updates. For example, now that we have the new website field, how does that work? Like, can you challenge like a previous entry that does not have the website, or how?
No, the challenge that, let's say maybe you're referring to the removal requests, like the end. Okay, yeah. For the moment, we are not planning to give out opportunity to edit the old entries, but maybe in future we will. And regarding to the removal request, there is a specific amendment in the policy stating that basically this new policy is not retroactive. So the entries that were submitted before yesterday, so before the update, they cannot be removed because of the absence of the website field. So we wanted to, the way we are moving is that we wanted to provide Etherscan with this field as quick as possible for the new entries. And we will check if we will give the opportunity to edit the old one and add the website field. Concerning the submission deposit and the challenge deposit, there have been no change in this matter. The amount is the same as before, as it is aligned with for all the registries, because the CDN address tags and token registry, they all have the same deposit amount and challenge amount. So we are keeping going in that direction.
Okay, perfect. I think that these are at least my questions about the update. Where else? I think we had some other questions. Oh yeah, one thing that that was the reason for the permanent deposit key rate is the creation of DeFi votes, right? I think maybe some like in the coming calls we can talk more about that. Great. So where else? We have updates about the V2. The team was working on some audits for, actually this is about the V1 still, but they were doing some audits for proxies that will enable Kleros to solve disputes coming from other networks that are not Ethereum mainnet or Gnosis chain for V1. Now there's some work being done on the Kleros Escrow V2, and this is something that I think I mentioned in the previous call. We have now a couple of different solutions for Escrow, and Guamian created a new one in the last week, and I am writing a thread about it because I think there are solutions for different types of disputes. For example, we have Escrow V2 that is using Kleros V2 beta on Arbitrum, but there's a limit to that, and it's in beta still. There's Escrowly, which is an interface for using Escrow on V1. Sorry, and this one doesn't have a limit, and it's a contract that has been audited and tried and tested a lot. And there's also this new solution for created by Guamian called Lockler. I think probably next week or in the coming weeks he will share it, and it uses SafeSnap in the background. It's a bit more flexible, and it might also have benefits for integrators that might be easier to integrate with other solutions. And well, I think that's it. I think there were also some updates to Kleros Escrow V1 that make it to make it more usable, because there were some issues with the interface at some point. And also there are escrow solutions from different partners. For example, there's Smart Invoice, which is a solution that is being used by Web3 developers on some DAOs like RaidGuild. And Alex is working on a proposal to denounce DAO because they use Smart Invoice. They're working on a proposal to implement it as the default payment methods for contributors. And also Paydis, which is a kind of a P2P platform based on LATAM. And they use, for now they have the integration for using Kleros as the recognition of jurisdiction. And they are working on like a smart contract integration in the future. And I think I'm probably forgetting some other integrations, but the one thing that I think it's important is that people talk about Ethereum adoption and the adoption of smart contract applications, and the escrow is really one of the most basic things that you can do with smart contracts that make sense for like normal people, that it's easy to understand why it's useful. So it will be nice if some of these solutions get some traction, and we see finally Alice and Bob transacting with a trustless intermediary, or intermediary that is impartial to the disputes, right? Great. So I want to talk a little bit about some things that have been going on in Argentina. And actually, one of the cases that we started, new use case that we have in the last the last month, We had an insurance protocol, sorry, an insurance company. It's also like a traditional insurance company that integrated Kleros for for claims. I think one month ago, when we got their first dispute, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it has already been solved, and it was they are very happy with the results that they've got, with the justifications of the jurors, and we are moving forward with the second case. And this is not like pilot cases. Like the previous case was already used by the platform to determine if the client would receive like a reimbursement or not. So these are live cases, and this is pretty big for us, because this is one of the main insurance companies in at least in America, like in the American continent, and this could generate moving forward, like they have like a big volume of cases, and if we get even a small part of that, it could be generate lots of cases for those jurors, and also confirm that it's another example that we can solve these types of real world disputes. We also, as we discussed on the previous weeks, there were some changes on the criteria for Lemon cases. Lemon is a fintech from Argentina, and we received, I think, 15 cases or 16 cases that are now being, well, we are working with the Lemon team and the client to upload the justifications and the evidences from both parts. There's some work there is done before creating the case, so they will be created in the coming days, or probably before next week. Before the end of next week, we already have all these cases created. And apart from that, we have, I think, also something very interesting. There's a figure in Argentina about of some organ that is does consumer defense. I don't know how to say that. Where is the exact translation for that in English? But it allowed some companies to solve the disputes from their clients, and have that dispute being valid. And in some situations that make sense. For example, when you have a very big retailer and that has lots of disputes, they can follow some rules and solve the disputes themselves. So we are working with some authorities to make Kleros as a valid ombudsman, and this we are still in discussion, but we are pretty advanced on that. So I hope we have some news in the next calls. I think Federico will probably be able to explain better what this is all about. For me, it's news. I learned this about this yesterday. Still have to learn more what it will mean, but it's always positive to have more recognition of what we are doing, and it will probably open up some new opportunities in Argentina. And of course, since if this gets adopted in Argentina, then it also opens doors for it to be implemented in other jurisdictions. Great. I think these are my main updates. We will have a recap of the updates related to development in the coming days, because we have a new DevRel that join the team, and we will be handling that. So the community can be always updated about the latest news of the dev team. And we are also organizing a call next week. I'll be publishing about that very soon. Okay, I don't know if anyone has something else to add, or I see that Moja is on the call. I don't know if you want to join, but otherwise we can continue in Telegram. Well, thanks everyone for listening, for coming, and see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.